Under the vast, star-filled skies of an ancient Earth, a world breathes in the quiet of the night. Continents, unfamiliar to our modern eyes, lie in slumber. This is a time long before us, a time of giants, a time when the planet belonged to them. In a dense, prehistoric forest, moonlight filters through the canopy, painting the ground in shades of silver and shadow. Towering ferns and ancient conifers sway gently in the breeze, their movements a silent dance against the backdrop of a billion stars. The air is filled with the soft hum of insects and the distant calls of creatures of the night. It is a world both majestic and serene. Here, in a moonlit clearing, a herd of plant-eaters rests. Triceratops and their kin huddle together, their massive bodies a fortress of warmth and safety. Their slow, rhythmic breathing is a gentle percussion in the symphony of the night. A young Maiasaura, a good mother lizard, sleeps soundly beside its parent, its small chest rising and falling in a peaceful rhythm. There is a profound sense of security here, a deep, familial bond that transcends time. Not far away, even the great predators are at rest. A Tyrannosaurus, a silhouette of immense power against the moon, lies still. Tonight, there is no hunt, no chase, only a shared quiet, a momentary truce under the celestial canopy. Different species, predator and prey, share this valley in an unspoken harmony, a fleeting moment of peace before the dawn of a new and final day. The sky itself seems to hold its breath. Stars shimmer with an impossible clarity, their light undiluted by the haze of a modern world. Small pterosaurs, leathery-winged gliders, cut silent paths across the face of the moon, their forms like kites in the cosmic ocean. A calm river winds through the landscape, its surface a perfect mirror for the galaxy above. Large sauropods, their long necks reaching for the heavens, stand at the water's edge, drinking slowly. Each sip sends gentle ripples across the starry reflection, disrupting the cosmos for just a moment. The wind whispers through the tall trees, their leaves rustling a lullaby for the sleeping giants. Moonlight dances on the forest floor, creating shifting patterns of light and dark. In the distance, a dormant volcano stands as a silent monument, its peak outlined against the stars, a stoic observer of the world below. It's a symbol of the planet's immense power, a quiet foreshadowing of the dramatic changes that nature can bring. Then, a flicker of light. A single meteor streaks across the sky, a fleeting dash of brilliance. It's a beautiful, silent firework, gone in an instant. Some dinosaurs lift their heavy heads, a flicker of curiosity in their ancient eyes. A momentary disturbance, a question hanging in the air. But the night is calm, and they soon return to their rest, lulled by the familiar sounds and scents of their world. Their eyes, deep pools reflecting the starlight, hold a quiet mystery, an unknowable depth. Instinctively, a group forms a protective circle, enclosing their youngest members within a wall of horns and muscle. It's a timeless display of parental care, a powerful instinct to shield the next generation from a world of unknowns. The chorus of night insects seems to grow louder, the soundscape deepening as time stretches and slows, each moment feeling more precious than the last. Looking down from an impossible height, the ancient Earth glows softly in the darkness, a blue and white marble suspended in the infinite black. It's a vision of planetary tranquility, a world teeming with life, unaware of its cosmic destiny. But the celestial display is not over. More shooting stars appear, their trails longer, brighter, painting the sky with increasingly dramatic strokes. A lone dinosaur, perhaps an old patriarch, stands on a hill, its gaze fixed on the heavens. Is it awe? Or a dawning sense of unease? We can only wonder what thoughts pass through that primeval mind as it witnesses the sky coming alive. The wind picks up, no longer a gentle whisper, but a more insistent sigh. The trees sway with greater urgency, and a subtle tension begins to thread through the peaceful atmosphere. The surface of the river trembles, a faint vibration from a source unseen and unfelt. A distant rumble, almost like thunder but deeper, more resonant, echoes from the void of space. The dinosaurs stir again, this time with soft, questioning calls that ripple through the valley before fading back into silence. The moonlight dims as a thin veil of clouds drifts across the sky, casting long, moving shadows over the land. In the undergrowth, smaller creatures sense the shift. They retreat into burrows and crevices, obeying an ancient instinct to seek shelter. The valley falls into an ominous stillness. The air grows heavy and the world seems to take one final, calm breath. For a moment, all sound ceases. Then, the clouds part, and the stars burn brighter than ever before, the sky alive with a terrible and beautiful fire. This is the last night. A night of peace, of family, of quiet existence. Deep in the expanse of the starry sky, something new appears. At first, it's just a flicker, a tiny point of light barely distinguishable from the countless stars around it. It is silent, distant, and utterly unassuming. To any observer on the ground, it would seem like just another star joining the celestial dance. But this star is different. This star is moving. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, it begins its journey toward Earth. The light, once a faint speck, grows with a steady, relentless resolve. It's no longer just another star. It has a purpose, a destination. As it draws closer, the thin, high-altitude clouds catch its glow, shimmering with a soft, ethereal light. The familiar deep blue of the night sky begins to shift, subtly taking on new, unfamiliar hues. High above, the glowing object has transformed. It is no longer a point of light, but a brilliant streak, leaving a thin, luminous trail across the canvas of the night. Its reflection shimmers on the dark, placid surfaces of rivers and glistens on the dew-covered leaves of the forest floor. The world below is painted with this strange new light. The animals of the night are the first to truly notice. Pterosaurs, the winged reptiles that soared through the prehistoric skies, circle higher than usual, their calls sharp and agitated. They sense a profound disturbance in the natural order, a change in the very air they fly through. Down on the plains, a herd of triceratops, previously resting, stirs. One by one they rise to their feet, their massive frilled heads turning in unison toward the horizon. Their eyes fixed on the growing light in the sky. Then, a deep, low-frequency rumble vibrates through the land. It's a feeling more than a sound, a tremor that travels from the solace of their feet up through their colossal bodies. It's almost imperceptible at first, but it's there, a deep hum from the heart of the earth. The leaves on the towering trees tremble, and fine dust lifts gently from the dry ground, dancing in the eerie glow. The sky continues its dramatic transformation. The deep blue gives way to subtle, then vibrant, orange and amber tones near the horizon, as if a premature dawn is breaking in the middle of the night. The object is now unmistakably a visitor from the cosmos. It blazes softly, a second, more urgent star in the sky, its fiery presence growing with each passing moment. A haunting chorus begins to rise from the valleys. Dinosaurs across the land emit low, distant calls, a symphony of confusion and alarm echoing through the ancient landscape. From the air, the sight is breathtaking and terrifying. A glowing trail of fire stretches from one end of the sky to the other, a cosmic scar drawn across the heavens. The atmosphere on the ground becomes chaotic. The wind, once a gentle breeze, picks up speed, rushing through the trees with a rising whooshing sound. The ground continues to vibrate, a constant low-level earthquake. We can see the texture of dinosaur skin, the thick, scaly hides of these giants, reacting to the tremors, rippling with the unseen energy passing through the earth. Panic begins to set in among the smaller creatures. Lizards, mammals, and amphibians flee in terror, seeking refuge in the water, in burrows, and in the densest parts of the vegetation, driven by an instinct for survival against a threat they cannot comprehend. Then, the meteor brightens dramatically. Its light intensifies 1,000-fold, its tail expanding into a magnificent, terrifying fan of sparks and cosmic dust. The clouds above don't just reflect the light anymore. They ignite with fiery colors, turning the night sky into a surreal, swirling vortex of red, orange, and gold. The world is bathed in an apocalyptic glow. The great herds of dinosaurs, instinctively understanding the magnitude of the danger, cluster closer together. They form protective circles, with the young and vulnerable shielded in the center, a final desperate act of community in the face of annihilation. As the meteor's light intensifies, their shadows, once long and faint, now race across the land, dark, fleeting shapes against the brilliantly lit ground. The soundscape transforms completely. The quiet hum and distant calls are drowned out by the roar of the wind and a new, terrifying sound, a distant cosmic thunder that seems to shake the very fabric of the sky. The object is no longer a distant threat. It is here. A massive incandescent fireball now dominates the view, a sun of destruction descending upon the earth, unstoppable and moving at an incredible speed. From the silent void of space, we see our planet, a beautiful blue marble, and the fiery streak of the meteor cutting through its thin atmospheric veil on a collision course with destiny. Back on the surface, the heat from its passage begins to arrive. Waves of intense heat distort the air, making the world shimmer and wobble as if seen through water. The time for stillness is over. The ground shakes with the thunderous rhythm of their heavy footsteps, a frantic, desperate stampede to escape the inescapable. Giant trees, which have stood for centuries, sway violently in the superheated winds, their branches snapping and splintering like twigs. The sky is now a burning canvas of orange and white. The night is gone, obliterated by a light more intense than any day. In the eyes of a dinosaur, we see the reflection of the incoming fire. A universe of terror and confusion is captured in that single primal gaze. In these final moments, time itself seems to warp. Everything slows down. The meteor, now impossibly huge, fills the entire sky, a ceiling of fire descending from above. And then, a moment of profound, unnatural quiet. The roaring wind, the thunderous footsteps, sounds of snapping trees, it all drops away into a near-total silence. It's the calm before the storm, the deep breath before the final, cataclysmic impact. An extreme, blinding brightness washes over the land. Erasing every shadow, every color, every feature. A blinding, pure white flash consumes the screen. A shockwave, silent but immensely powerful, ripples across the land. The very ground you stand on vibrates with a violent intensity. The dinosaurs, masters of this world, pause their eternal struggles. A Tyrannosaurus Rex, mid-roar, falls silent. Then, on the horizon, a new sun is born. An impossible bloom of light, brighter than anything the world has ever seen. It's a silent, breathtaking spectacle of pure energy, a flower of destruction blossoming in an instant. The light is overwhelming, bleaching the landscape white, turning the sky into a searing canvas of incandescence. For a fleeting moment, all is silent, all is still, frozen in this blinding, beautiful terror. Following the light and sound is a towering wall of dust and superheated debris. A colossal tsunami of Earth racing across the plains and forests. It moves with unimaginable speed, swallowing everything in its path. Rivers, once calm and life-giving, surge violently from their banks, becoming raging torrents of destruction. In the distance, the immense pressure triggers a chain reaction. Volcanoes that have been dormant for millennia erupt with renewed fury, spewing columns of ash and smoke high into the atmosphere, adding their own poison to the sky. The world is being unmade. Slowly, inexorably, the light begins to fade, but not to the familiar dark of night. The sun is blotted out. The stars vanish. The sky is choked with a thick, impenetrable blanket of black smoke and ash. The world plunges into a profound, suffocating darkness. Into this darkness, the last of the dinosaurs disappear. Their mighty shapes, which once dominated the landscape, dissolve into the shadows. This is the great dying, the end of an era preserved in a long, still, silent shot that speaks volumes. The age of reptiles, an epic spanning millions of years, has concluded. The earth holds its breath. But in every ending, there is the seed of a new beginning. Very slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the thick clouds of ash begin to thin. After years of darkness, a single faint ray of sunlight pierces the gloom. It's a small, fragile spear of light, but in this dead world, it is a miracle. It illuminates the countless particles of dust still hanging in the air, making them glow like tiny, hopeful stars in the darkness. As the light grows stronger, it reveals the true scale of the devastation. A broken, scarred landscape stretches to the horizon, bathed in the soft, hazy light of a long-delayed dawn. And then life returns. Not with a roar, but with a whisper. Pushing through the thick blanket of ash, a tiny green shoot appears. A small, resilient plant, a pioneer in this new, harsh world. It is a quiet, profound testament to the tenacity of life. On the surface of the ashen ground, insects begin to crawl. Survivors, the small, the meek, the ones who could hide and endure, are now inheriting the earth. In the sky, new shapes take flight. Not the giant pterosaurs of the past, but smaller, bird-like creatures, the direct descendants of the dinosaurs, gliding across the sky. They are the legacy of what was lost, a bridge between two worlds. The sun, a stranger for so long, climbs higher, its warmth spreading across the silent land. The wind, once a screaming agent of destruction, now moves gently, carrying with it not ash, but the promise of renewal. We see a new world taking shape, peaceful and quiet. A world recovering from a wound of cosmic proportions. The light, once a harbinger of death, now fills the frame, soft and hopeful. It speaks not of destruction, but of rebirth. A long moment of calm, meditative silence descends. The cycle is complete. An old world had to end for a new one to begin. An epic of extinction has transformed into a story of creation. From the ashes of the dinosaurs, the age of mammals, our age, would rise. Every ending, no matter how catastrophic, is truly a new beginning. Thank you for watching. If this journey through time moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more stories about our incredible universe. Stay curious,